Up YouTube, Sam from Sam's Garden Maintenance. What a lovely day today. So in this video I want to talk to you more on the whole hourly subject, and what I want to talk to you about is the true hourly rate. Now you might be wondering what you want about, Sam. Well, I'll get into it. So previous video I had talked to you about working out your hourly rate. How do we get to that hourly rate? Even if you'd already got to it, hopefully in a way it serves to sort of bolster your argument when the customer says, how much is that? That's ridiculous, you know. But we get it and there's nothing we can do about it. So like I said, we should all be sort of, you know, hot on in terms of how our hourly rate is, you know. But I want to sort of flip it a different way. And I want to talk to you about the true hourly rate, and this is something I realised a bit back. So what I do is, every job I do, before I quote on it, I always have a rough idea on how long it's going to take me, and then that helps obviously to form the price that I then give to the customer. So sometimes sometimes a lawn will have a sort of set price to it, you know, unless it's got like weird sort of things going on with it. They all have a similar sort of price, and then obviously if it's a bigger job, or a job that's going to take more time, or hedge cut, you know, you name it, I'll then sort of apply my hourly rate to it, based on how long I think it'll take, waste and profit. So like I said, and then that sort of gets me in the ballpark. And then it's up to me if I want to add a little bit more because I'm hitting every quote, or, you know, if I've had a lean week with phone calls, I might want to sort of go a bit, you know, stick to that, maybe not try and push me luck, and then that gives me the price. So when I go home after I've done that job, I keep tabs of every single piece of work I've done for a customer. So on my workings out at the end of the day, I will put Mr. Such and Such, I put the date, I put the price, and I put how long I was there for. So if I did, you know, 2 hours of work on an hourly, I'll put the hourly rate and how much. Now I don't do many hourly rates now at all. I am trying to phase them out. I think I've only got 2, and they are loose hourly rates anyway. So I will put down how long I was there and how much I earned for that job. And then I'll do that for every single job. And then at the end of the month, what I do, or what I used to do, but I still do it to a degree, is at the end of the month, I will then basically add up all the hours I've done, and then I'll add up all of the gross earnings, so before I take everything out, and then I will divide the two together, and that gives me my hourly figure. Now you're probably thinking it doesn't, and it doesn't. I am now going to talk to you about the actual hourly price. So the actual hourly price, I was thinking to myself, well, I'm doing all this, and I'll be honest with you, this happened probably last year, about a year and a half ago, where I started to do this differently, because I was thinking to myself, you know, I'm out all day and I don't think I'm necessarily, you know, I've only done 3 jobs, or if you think of it about you've done 3 jobs but been out all day and they're only 2-hour jobs, you're thinking, well, what the fuck have I done? But sometimes you've been out all day and then you think, well, I've been out all day, I've only got this, but then the next day I've been out half a day and I've got the same. So what's going on? So that led me to look at my actual hourly rate. So what I do now is I keep tabs on how long each job taken, and this was good for me in the formative years of pricing, or going over to a fixed price or job per price sort of thing, because this, if I did say, especially in the first time when I was doing it and I was pricing away from that, I wanted to know I was covering my costs and, you know, sticking to that hourly figure, and you know, definitely above the survival income. So it was very helpful back then, and it still is to a degree, but back to this hourly, or the true hourly figure. So the true hourly figure is I actually take notes of how long I'm at the house, because that's billable hours for me. I want to be getting where I'm maximising my earnings and basically, you know, having a good sort of work-life balance, so to speak. And this helps me to get to that point. So if I do, at the end of it, I keep tabs on how long I'm doing each job for, but I keep tabs on how long I'm at the house. So it's like today, I've been out from 9 o'clock and my last job finished at 4:30. So if I go back to home, it'll be 5 o'clock. Just so happens I'm nipping off to go to the pub, so my finish time will still be 5 o'clock, because that's what time I would have got in from home. So today I have done 8 hours of work, but I've only really done 6.5 hours of work, as in actual paid work, because I don't get paid for driving to and from work, driving to the customers. If I forget a tool, you know, I had it today where I turned up to the customer and he weren't in, so I had to go and do another job, and I come back. So that's half an hour out of the day that I've lost. So you're getting where I'm getting at now. So what I do is I keep tabs of how long I'm at the house, like I said, and then same as before, I will add it all up. So at the end of the month, I will have a much bigger number than what I was doing as if I was just working the hours out that I did on a job. And you will have, there's no way you'll get them to match up unless you work for your next door neighbour, you know, all the time. You will never get them to match up. But it was the difference what shocked me when I first started. I was like, not in a way I was shocked and I couldn't believe it, but I sort of couldn't, because they were a lot different, you know, even probably a third actually, if I remember right from the first year. They were really different. Now, obviously, I've touched on this, you forget stuff, so you have to go back. I had it where quotes, because I include quotes in that. Materials, the amount of times I was fucking about going and picking up bags of compost when I could have just, you know. And what I do now actually is I buy a load, store it, I'm not going back and forward. And I didn't used to think about this, but then I did, because I was like, my local place is only 5 minutes up the road, but that's 5 minutes there, 5 minutes putting in the back of your van, 10 minutes talking to the bloke, and then 5 minutes back. So it's like half an hour out of my day just to get a bag of compost. Same with gravel, get it delivered, you know, take that hit, you know. Well, it's free delivery where I get it from, but you know what I mean. So it's all these little things, and if you're mindful of them, then what actually starts to happen is you then think, well, I will buy the compost in bulk and I'll store it. You know, I've got some customers, I love them to bits, but if I'm there doing a half an hour job and I'm there talking to them for 45 minutes, then you get where I'm coming from. I'm not saying that I've got to drop the customer. I'm not saying this is going to make you into like lean, mean, fighting garden machines. But if you can save yourself half an hour out of a day, you know, or half an hour a week, then you're saving yourself 2 hours. And if you equate that to an hourly rate, you know, for an average garden, it's probably about £50 you could be theoretically either spending on other customers or saving even, or you've got 2 hours extra at home to spend with your wife and kids, or in my case, watching Tom and Jerry. So this true hourly rate, this figure, is such a useful figure, because what you can then do is you can then start, right, I want to beat that. So I want to sort of, you know, I tell you what, I'll just say to Mrs. Such and Such that, look, I've got to go to another job. Or what I'll do is I'll schedule another job, then I've got to go. I'm not being lying to her. I have generally got a lot on that day. And right, actually, this bloke lives closer to this bloke, but he likes me coming on this day. I tell you what, I'll just have to change him, so I'm not going back and forth all the time. I'm not running back onto myself. Yeah, oh, he was fine with that, brilliant. So that saved me half an hour. And then you'll get where all this time that you're saving, not only will it free up time for other potential new customers, but so then you're earning more, but then because you're spending more time, you know, at home and less time out and about, you've got more time for yourself, but then it's bringing your price up. So your actual hourly rate is then just going up. And I'm not saying it's going to go up because it's done on an average over all the jobs you do, it's not going to be going up by £5 or £10, like bloody hell, but it will be going up by, you know, £1 or something, 50p, but you should see an upward growth. Now for me this year, I've put my prices up, so hopefully this whole year my average hourly rate, or my actual hourly rate, that should just creep up by hopefully the amount that I've put it up, and I put the price up by about 10%. So my actual hourly rate should in theory go up by about 10%. I'm also trying to not dawdle, trying not to sort of faff about, trying not to forget stuff, but it happens all the time, and you can't kill yourself over it. You know, you can't be there thinking, oh, you know, I've lost 20 minutes today. It's what it is. But if, like I said, you can save 20 minutes a day once a week, it helps and it adds up. So hopefully this chat's helped you. So this is the actual hourly rate chat, and I hope it's sort of helped you out. Have a good day, guys, and as usual, keep on gardening or guttering or whatever you want to be doing. Good day, guys.